Alright guys, new update just dropped and you know what that means. New toys and guaranteed salt. Today we're digging into the T58, the American prototype that somehow made its way into the game. Big gun, big clip, and a terrifyingly fast autoloader. It's basically an M103 with a caffeine addiction and a grenade launcher for a heart. Quick headline, the T58 sits at 8.3, has a 6-round ready rack, and the autoloader spits shells every 2.6 seconds. That's right, you can literally unload 6 heavy shells in under 20 seconds. But hold up, the trick is in your ammo loadout. Put heat in the first chamber then follow with APCBC or HESH. Situationally, it's your choice. Why? Because AP only gives you around 200mm of effective pen in practice while heat is hitting near 400mm. And at 8.3, that gap matters. This thing isn't just loud, it's surgical. Let's get into why the T58 is both terrifying and terrifyingly fun. But before we go haywire with the gameplay, some context. The T58 was never meant to be your everyday MBT. It's a late 50s American heavy tank prototype. An idea that answers the question, what if we slap a 155mm gun and an autoloader on a heavy chassis and ignore logistics? Engineers experimented with giant oscillating turrets and ready racks because Cold War thinking briefly flirted with super heavy single punch platforms. But real life said nah. Main battle tank doctrine moved on, budget shrank, and prototypes like the T58 stayed in tech reports and museum photos. But War Thunder though, it resurrected the wild idea as a playable what if and dropped it in the game where it could cause maximum chaos. You can thank them or also just curse them because how many times have you been deleted by this thing from the past matches? Okay, anyways, people instinctively think big gun equals AP only, right? Especially on the Russian bias. But numbers don't lie. APCBC here sits around 200mm effective on practical angles, which at 8.3 won't reliably cut through some, sloped turrets or angled stuffs. Meanwhile, heat clocks near 400mm of flat pen. That's the difference between I nicked his engine and his gun. So here's the loadout philosophy I use and why I preach it on. Chamber 1, heat. This is your guaranteed opener. You want 400mm of go-through power ready to fire first. Ambush, poke, click, target dies or gets critically disabled. Now you immediately follow up with a different round. APCBC will still do work, okay, good mass, good post pen on weaker sections, but yeah, it's completely situational. HESH is the meme round that hilariously overpressures when it connects on the top deck or like cupola. Great for cruise modules and when you want to make someone rage. Basically, short version. Heat gets you the consistent deletions, everything else is situational flavor. But again, still your choice. Okay, so you're in game, you peek, you fire heat, boom, they're gone. You immediately have 2.6 seconds until your next launch. The cadence is absurd. People think big shell, slow fire, not here. It's like someone crafted a minigun's rhythm onto a 155. The adrenaline is real, you're not mindless. You track, you punish, you force enemies to scatter. Best part, if more than one opponent shows, you can just line up through multiple targets if they're spaced well. But note, once the 6 rounds are gone, you've got the big ass reload and restock time. That's the moment you do not poke. That's the moment you relocate or pray your teammates are worth something. But again, don't get cocky. The T58's hull borrowed the M103s while the turret is big and heavy, but armor isn't magical. At 8.3 you'll meet APDS, ATFS, darts, and stabilized autocannons. A lot of tanks will have enough punch to ruin your day if they see you first. Your real survivability is strike first or you die. Handling wise, you won't be zipping around like a leopard, but you can get to positions fast enough to matter. The T58 has enough grunt to reposition between shots and follow teammates during pushes. Don't expect to outrun mediums though. But you can outposition many heavies if you plan routes right. I like using routes that give me several hold-on positions or options. Peek, unload, retract. Your turret traverse is actually quite good, but you still need to pre-aim where the action is going to be. Alright, here's some of the T58 recipe that works for me. I know it just released, this is like on my checklist already, like we gotta be ready. It's razor simple but not that easy. Be the ambush. setup where you can see choke points or predictable lanes. You want enemies to pass into your arc. Heat opener. Again, first shot is heat. If the first shot pens, the rest are glorious. Follow-up sequencing. Don't hammer into the same chassis from weird angles. Swap between targets if you can. 6 rounds in quick succession can kill 2 or 3 enemies if they're close enough. Okay, what I'm saying here is if you critically shot a tank already, if he has teammates nearby, you should go after him. Number 4, relocate after the rack is empty or hide in a new bush. Don't be the tank everyone ganks mid-reload. How does it stack versus other big guns? Versus M103, similar hull but 155 autoloader. So basically, M103 single shot. M103 reload slower but can trade. T58 prefer clips. Versus T10 or IS4s, Soviet heavies hit hard and have room to trade. Your heat counters many of their frontal quirks if you land the shot, but they can face hug and punish you in city or urban fights. Bottom line, the T58 is a specialized tool, not strictly better, but it wins different fights. Alright, let's wrap it up. The T58 is not a generic addition, it's a wild experimental heavy that forces you to think, pick your opener, commit, and then ghost. With heat first, you convert it from a heavy with flash to a surgical clip launcher that deletes everything. Is it OP? It depends. With heat first, it's very punishing if you miss counters or let it position, but it has clear weaknesses: long reload after the rack, vulnerable sides, and that huge turret is basically a giveaway of your position or where you are. It isn't a brain-dead winning ticket, it's a high-skill, high-reward machine that rewards map sense and discipline. If you want a fun new way to play 8.3, aggressive, scary, and cinematic, T58 is a must-try. If you want to brawl and trade all day, yeah, it could work. Either way, it's a pretty good premium that deserves attention. And hey, if you take it out and end up with a 6-kill clip in one rack, that's crazy good. So, that's a T58. America's big autoloader beast. Drop your first-hand T58 stories below. I know it just got released but so many players bought it already. Did you get deleted by one, or are you the one sending people back to hangar? Hit that like and sub button, and as always, see you in the next one.